All right, so welcome everyone to the first episode of my True North Discovery series. I'm joined by Simone Gnatt, otherwise known as Miss Intensity. Simone is a personal trainer and she totally befits the name of her business, both in spirit and totally dishing out some intense workouts. Fitness and wellbeing has always been really important to me. It's my constant, and Simone is somewhat responsible for my motivation to the start of my day in a positive way, and both, my physical and mental health. And as I've been attending her sessions for, I think, a little over maybe 3 years or so. Yeah. She's also someone who I truly admire greatly, as she is a mum who's building her own business. So welcome, Sim, and thanks to you for joining me on this experience, and also to share some of your story. This is going to be, as I've said, very conversational and a chat among friends. So, and I hope to keep it that way with the rest of the series. So, I heard this really amazing quote this morning, and I'll read it to you. Amazing things happen when ordinary people do something brave. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, very relatable.
I definitely can. So can you tell us a little bit about your business and your journey to this point?
Sure. I worked in an office for 15 years. I was at the same job. It was fantastic. I had both my kids when I was working there. And then after I had Ruby, I went back to work. I just wasn't passionate about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked to keep fit and healthy. Exercising has always been a part of my life. And I had a mum from school ask me, because I was doing my own workouts at home, if I could start training her. And it just ignited this passion that I kind of didn't really know was there. Mm-hmm. And so I took the plunge and I quit my job and I started studying, and I started training people for free, and it's just built up from there. So I train women only, and I run my business from my home in my driveway. And it's a space where mums can bring their kids, and it's at no extra cost. I've got a backyard that caters for them to run around. And it's just women only. So it's a really nice, comfortable, safe, non-intimidating space. And that's because that's how I like to train.
Great. So at what point in your journey did you go, I don't want to go back to my whatever my day-to-day is. What sort of steps did you take to make that change?
I started to do research. I researched how I could become a personal trainer. I started out with the Cert 3 first, so I would be a group instructor. I knew that I didn't want to work in a gym. I feel intimidated. I probably even would now, even though I'm fully qualified and very experienced. So I started researching what my options would be, and following different people in social media platforms, seeing what they do, how I could have my point of difference, and how I wanted to deliver that. And I think even though I have taken steps initially, I'm still changing things as I go, because you're forever learning.
Cool. What do you love about what you do?
I love being able to provide a space for women to come and feel strong and fit, getting their confidence back. I think a lot of women lose their confidence after they have children. So providing a space that is safe, not intimidating. Gyms can be very overwhelming, and seeing the results that people get, not just physically but mentally as well, I think is, like, you just can't beat that. It's very rewarding.
Well, I can totally vouch for that, because it's definitely a place for me where I feel, we've said it often, it's it's group counselling. It's we can have a laugh, we can have a joke, we can have had a really crappy day, and when you're in this safe space, it is a place to feel, you leave feeling a bit more empowered, and you provide a great environment to do that. So thank you. What do you feel, I guess, as I'd imagine there'd be a few challenges that happen when you're a solo business owner. What can you sort of talk to that and share about that?
There's so many different challenges. I mean, it goes from ensuring that I provide workouts that are varied. I want to make it, I don't want anyone to get bored. Making sure that I'm up to date with different things that are happening in the fitness world at the moment. So you're continually researching, finding new different fun exercises to do, whether they're challenging or not. And I think building a business from scratch, which I've never done before, I'm continually learning. I got myself a coach about 2 years ago, and that's probably the best thing I've ever done. So I've now got someone to bounce ideas off. And, sometimes you have to make that a priority to help you grow and really come out of your comfort zone, because, you just don't know what's around the corner. I'm continually trying to improve myself for you girls, so I can give you the best possible service. And
I guess there's the business aspect of things, but there's also, I'm sure, a personal development journey for yourself. What have been some of the things that you've done? I guess because we all suffer from imposter syndrome. What are the sorts of things that keep you, I guess, focused and keep that little voice in your head going, I've got this, which I know is one of your prize.
Oh God, that's a tough one. I think having so much amazing feedback from you girls is very motivating for me. And just, someone could tell me how amazing that workout was, and you instantly feel better, because you do get that self-doubt, and you always want to make sure that I'm keeping everybody happy, but making sure that you girls are getting just as much out of it as what I am, because I, get up early every day. It's never a problem, because I'm doing something I love. And I think that's the thing for me in finding, going through this, is there's a lot of things that are, can be a hobby, and that, we're passionate about. But there's things, that are, how can I, if I do have a real interest in this, how do I, what steps do I put in place to actually try and build this and monetize it? Because, as you said earlier, I guess that there was an interest for you as a hobby or as a personal interest, but how do you go about, putting those steps in place to, support your family? Well, that's right. I discussed that. Obviously it was a family decision, and to become a personal trainer, you can study online. I did all mine online, so I didn't need to go into a classroom, but you still had a group that you could chat with that was online. That's really good too, because you can still work and study. I didn't. I ended up taking time off, but it's a hard one, and I think that pressure comes with wanting to make sure that you're still contributing in a financial way as well. But I was just in a position where at that time we were okay for me not to work for a period of time. But there's so many online options now. You could try and balance both.
Cool. One of the things, I guess, that is always interesting on the outside looking in is that some things can be very glamorous, some things can be really perceived in a certain way. What are some of the perceptions that you perhaps could dispel maybe about what you do?
I think a lot of people think, you're a personal trainer, you just get to exercise all day, and there's so much of the background stuff that comes into it. There's so much planning, and you've got different people that will come for different sessions that can't do certain exercises and have injuries, so you've got to be prepared before that session to make sure that you've got other options ready and that you're on the ball ready to go. Planning the sessions, that takes time, especially if you're running a few different sessions each day. So you've got to have everything, like all your ducks in a row. But it's not just about being able to exercise. Because I think a lot of people think, you just get to exercise all day.
For sure. What about sort of the nutrition side of things? Like, I know that you do offer that as part of your programs. Was that a big focus in terms of the study side of things as well?
It was. I studied 18 months. I did my diploma of nutrition while I was running my business, so working as well. But again, I did that online, and you can work around the kids and your work hours, weekends. So it was a great part, I think, because being fit and healthy isn't just about exercise. Nutrition's a huge part of it. So learned so much that I can now give my clients to help them achieve their goals.
Awesome.
Best decision I made doing the nutrition. It's a great hand-in-hand package that you can provide.
It's a overall service, isn't it? Cool. So what if you could give advice to, what do you want people to really know about what you do, particularly career changes, or maybe young people who are looking to get into this industry?
I think if you want to get into the fitness industry, a really good place to start is knowing your point of difference. What exactly, like my focus was mums. I'm a mum, we have something in common, and there's so many different variations of training styles to do for mums because we've all had kids, so our makeup's a little different to what you were before you had children. So really understanding, I think, what path you want to go down in that particular, like in the fitness industry, because there's so many. It's pretty broad.
Okay. And in terms of the education you did, is that something that is obviously there's probably other avenues, but you said you started with a Cert 3?
And then I did Cert 4. So Cert 3 is a group instructor, so I could go in and run a class. And then I did Cert 4, which would enable me to become a personal trainer. So then you can do just PT as well as group training. And that's a lot, like that's a bigger amount of study to do. That takes longer than the Cert 3. And then but I think having both, they complement each other a lot. So should be education.
And do you think you'll do further study? Is there anything inside like that you'd like to do?
I'm sort of feeling I've sort of been studying for 5 years and it becomes a part of who you are. And I never ever thought I would say that because I wasn't like that when I went to school. But I really enjoy studying now. So
isn't it like that's the difference in that you want to study what you want to know? Obviously, when we're at school, we're like, what do I need this for? And so that's probably the difference, isn't it?
I definitely want to do some more study. I'm just sort of not sure exactly what yet. Maybe something to do with social media. I'm still learning all of that, and getting your face behind the camera a little bit more, having that confidence. It's still growing. So,
and I guess there's, from a business perspective, there's so many elements that you could like factor in, and that space just moves so quickly, and it's changing all the time. So I'm sure there's absolutely always learning. Cool. What sort of skills do you think are important, from the obvious ones, for someone who is looking to get into this space?
Motivation, absolutely, is huge. And I think a passion for wanting to help people. Like I'm really social in my nature, so that side of my job I love because we get to just chat while we train, and it's a really nice space. And just having that enthusiasm, I think, to get out every day and
get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
In the cold, in the rain. But I think you need to be quite a social person to be a personal trainer as well. You need to be able to communicate with people.
Absolutely. Cool. If you were able to, would you be in a position to offer someone a mentoring situation where whether it's someone who's career changing or somebody who's just starting out, is that something you'd be able to do?
I would for sure. I think that would be rewarding for me to be able to teach someone and just explain to them what my journey's been about. My journey's obviously still going.
For sure.
That would be fantastic.
We might get some questions as a result of this, so are you happy to field some of those?
Absolutely, yes please.
Great. Okay, sure. So I think that's probably it. I am really glad that you were the first person that I came to. As as I said, it is a conversation amongst friends, and it is an area of interest for me, and personally. But I guess it's good to get an insight into the both you as a person and the journey that you've been on to get to this point. And I'm sure that that'll give hopefully others an inspiration, if that's something that's of interest to them, to follow their dreams too. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. Good luck.